Welcome. Today, we delve into the structural backbone of Indian governance, the Public Service Commissions. Encapsulated in Part 14 of the Indian Constitution, spanning Articles 315 through 323, these institutional pillars ensure that public administration remains professional, merit-based, and insulated from political influence. Let's explore the blueprint that supports India's bureaucracy. At the top of the hierarchy sits Part 14, titled Services under the Union and the States. This constitutional umbrella establishes three distinct recruitment bodies: the Union Public Service Commission, UPSC, for central services, the State Public Service Commission, SPSC, for individual state cadres, and the Joint Public Service Commission, JPSC, for two or more states working together. Their overarching mandate? To safeguard meritocracy and independent recruitment across civil services nationwide. This framework didn't appear overnight, it evolved over decades of colonial history. In 1919, the Government of India Act introduced the initial concept, setting the stage for a formalized civil service body. In 1926, following recommendations by the Lee Commission, the Central Public Service Commission was officially established. Finally, in 1935, the Government of India Act broadened the structure, expanding the blueprint to formally establish state and joint public service commissions. Let's look at how these commissions are created and compose. For the UPSC, the establishment authority is the President of India. For an SPSC, it is the state governor. But for a JPSC, creation requires an act of parliament, following approval from the respective state legislatures. Interestingly, the Constitution is intentionally silent regarding specific educational qualifications for members. However, it enforces the 50% rule. At least half of all commission members must have served for a minimum of 10 years under either the central or state government. Next, who appoints these officials, and how long do they serve? The President appoints members for both the UPSC and JPSC. The Governor appoints members for the SPSC. All members serve a fixed tenure of 6 years. However, the upper age caps differ. UPSC members retire at 65 years of age, whereas SPSC and JPSC members must step down upon reaching 62 years. This brings us to a fascinating administrative nuance, the authority paradox. UPSC members resign to, are suspended by, and report to the President, with operations set by Parliament. JPSC members resign to and are suspended by the President, but report to the respective state governors, while Parliament governs their operational rules. For the SPSC, members resign to, are suspended by, and report to their state governor, while state assemblies decide operations. But here is the crucial distinction. Even though SPSC members report to and resign to the governor lacks the authority to remove them from office. Removal is strictly reserved for the President. Why is removal so tightly controlled? Article 317 safeguards commissioners against arbitrary dismissal. The President is the sole removal authority for all three commissions, following two explicit paths. Under proved misconduct, an inquiry by the Supreme Court is mandatory. Removal can only occur if the Supreme Court recommends it after an investigation. Under direct action, if a member is declared insolvent, engages in paid employment outside their duties, or suffers physical, mental unfitness, the President can remove them directly without requiring a Supreme Court inquiry. What fall under the Commission's core duties? Their mandate spans four major areas: conducting examinations, managing recruitment for union civil services, state services, and Group A and B posts. Disciplinary matters, advising the government on disciplinary actions against serving civil servants. Service transfers, guiding procedures when personnel transfer between different cadres or services. Compensation cases, advising on legal and disability compensation claims made by civil servants. It's equally important to understand where the UPSC's jurisdiction ends. The UPSC strictly handles recruitment into central services. Once a candidate is selected, post-recruitment administration is handed off entirely to the Department of Personnel and Training, DOPT. Matters like service extensions, salary determinations, cadre allocations, and ongoing employee training are completely out of bounds for the UPSC. Let's honor the key trailblazers who have led the Commission. Sir Ross Barker, 1926 to 1932. The very first chairperson of the Commission. H. K. Kriplani, 1947 to 1949, the first chairperson of independent India. Rose Million Bathew, 1992 to 1996, the first woman to chair the commission. A quick real-time update, Dr. Manoj Soni, he resigned in July 2024. Following Preeti Sudan's tenure, Dr. Ajay Kumar took charge as the chairperson of the UPSC in May 2025. To synthesize, Part 14 acts as a vital buffer between political authorities and administrative execution. By embedding fixed tenures, rigid removal procedures via Article 317, and distinct boundaries separating recruitment from DOPT administration, the Indian Constitution constructs a resilient shield. This design ensures that India's civil servants can execute public policy with impartiality, stability, and integrity. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment if you enjoyed this quick revision.